Hi everybody, my name is Frank, and today I'm going to finish off the painting that I started of Wonder Woman. I'll be using these watercolors, and I'll be using these inks, and here's an assortment of my brushes that I use. And I use mixed media paper for this. And if you need to brush up on your drawing skills, I also did this book here. And it just shows you the basic way of drawing the figure, the basic shapes and forms that I use to draw the figure. So today I'm going to finish off her costume and the last parts of her facial features. Now for the breastplate, I'm going to use raw umber for this. And I like the raw umber because it's really good for doing gold colors and golden tones. And it doesn't have that much of a warm hues in it. So I think it gives it a really good, just a gold look to it. But the color really is, it's a brown color. All the umber colors are really, they're more of a brown color, but I think it's suited very well for doing your gold-plated armor, stuff like that. Now doing the gold is really easy. What you want to do is you want to get, leave a lot of parts of it white, and that'll act as the shiny parts of her breastplate. And even if you want to, you can go in and color in some of the light areas very lightly with a yellow, an actual yellow color, and that will make it look even more golden, if that's the look that you're going for. But I'm just going for a regular gold color here. I don't want to make it too yellowish, but if you do that, the golden areas will look even more sparkly, more golden, more shiny. But you do have to you add just very little yellow. Don't overdo it with your yellow color. But mainly when you're doing the golden areas, you want to leave a little bit of white to represent the shiny parts of the gold. And then I will outline this area here very lightly. Just like over on her breastplate, I'll outline it. Outline just a few areas of it. Give it a little bit of dimension. So also it's a good idea to learn your colors when you're working with any type of painting media. Learn the names of the colors, because the colors have very specific names to them. Like this one is this one's raw umber, then there's burnt umber, then there's raw sienna, burnt sienna, which burnt sienna is what I use for the skin tone. And usually those names will be used in all different mediums also, like in watercolor, oil painting, acrylic painting. Usually they have the same name, so that if you want a specific color, you know the name of it and you know the characteristics of that color. Because some colors are, even though they're basically the same, you know, brown, Some will be more warmer, and some will be, they won't have the warm tones. They'll have more of the, I guess, the cooler tones in it. And it all depends on what you're doing and what you want to represent. And using color, it's a good idea to get to know the names of the colors, how they complement each other, or which colors work well, which colors work better as opposite. When you get familiar with your colors and what they actually do, you can really be creative with using color. I think a lot of people neglect that. They don't realize that through the use of color, you can actually express. You can be very expressive artistically just by that one medium. So now I'm outlining her lips, and I'm using burnt umber for this part here. Remember, we're using raw umber for the gold, for the golden tone. So here I'm using burnt umber for the undercolor of the lips and her eyelids. Her eyes are closed, so I'm also going to do these in brown. And I also use this color of burnt umber in the shadow area. I like it because it blends in with the burnt sienna. So just keep track of the names of your colors, and you should you'll be able to do a lot of cool stuff when you learn your colors. A good idea is to work with a color wheel. Then you can actually see the opposite colors and the colors that are next to it, and they all have names like analogous colors, complementary colors, all of that. You can also learn all of that theory. So there is a lot to learn when you're working in color. It is, it's really great to just get your watercolors out and start coloring, It's a great feeling, but after a while, learn the names of your colors, of their actual names, and that will really help you. Okay, working on her lips, her eyelids right there. And again, I'm going to put a little bit of a shadow on her, in her lip area. And I'm just going to use a very light gray wash on her shadowed area, which is going to be right here on her teeth. I don't want them to be completely white. So they're going to be like a grayish wash that I use right there. And also a little bit more of the grayish wash underneath her eye. And let me see that you're getting the right angle on this. There you go. Working the eye area here, the nose. And if you put a little bit too much paint, before it dries, just blot it out. There we go. As you can see, I blotted it out very quickly. But remember to do that right away. And it does happen, sometimes you'll just accidentally put on too much paint. When you do that, do try and work with it, but sometimes you can see that you're not going to be able to, so just quickly blot it out. Okay, and I'm ready to do her lips. going to use the red watercolor for her lips and just lightly go over it, and then needs a little bit more darker tone to it. And don't cover them all completely, because remember that a part of them are reflecting the light right there. So the part that reflects the light, you want to leave that completely white. So you can see there's a small piece reflecting the light will be completely white. Then I'm going to do her star next. And I'm just going to paint this in red. I'm not going to put any undercolor underneath this star or anything. I'm just going to do it in red. A little bit more on the lips. And remember, when your watercolor dries, it'll always dry a little bit lighter. When you first put it on, it's nice and dark. But watercolor will always dry a little bit lighter, and you know, sometimes that'll change your entire painting. That's one of the reasons why I use the ink for the skin tones, because the ink will dry exactly the way that you put it on. That's how it will be when it dries. It won't lighten, it won't darken. The color will just be exactly. But watercolor, I don't know the reason why, but it just will dry a little bit lighter. And that little bit of lightness can change the entire look of your painting. And sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not, but just keep that in mind when working with watercolor and when working with other mediums. But the ink, I can put it on just like watercolor, but it won't dry lighter. And there she is. She's pretty much finished. So if you like this video, please subscribe and give it a like, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.